Hello everyone.
He's live now.
How is everyone doing tonight? Hope everyone has had a good Friday so far. We'll give everybody a couple of minutes to jump on before I get started. Let me see here. I know Jamie can't comment because she's in Facebook jail. Hopefully some other people will jump on here before we get started. If not, I'll just start coloring and then we'll post this on YouTube and you can catch the replay later. It'll also be here on Facebook. But all right. Well, I am going to start coloring so this video doesn't end up being super long. But we are gonna color the Extraordinary Lily tonight. I was looking to do something a little bit different, so that's why I went with kind of the orangey, purpley color. I was Googling lilies and different color schemes to kind of get an idea for what was out there. This is based on a real lily that you can find in nature. But I just wanted something a little bit different, just to have a different color scheme, just to show kind of the versatility of what all it could do. So, we're gonna kind of work back and forth. We're gonna work with our purples and our oranges. We're gonna start with our purple just because I'm gonna do the purples in the centers of the two flowers to be the deepest points of them. So I'm going to try to make sure I'm on the screen so everybody can see what colors I'm using. Hello, Sandy.
I apparently forgot spaces. That's a big run on a tag.
I'm using purples for you, Sandy. In your honor. So I'm not being very precise about this purple in the middle, partially because most of it you're not actually going to see in the finished product, but you will see some of it, and where it is a 3D, depending on what angle you look at it, you're going to be able to catch different parts of it. So I do want to get in there with it and try to at least get the illusion of some purple down in there. I did say I was going to do both of these at the same time, so I'm going to come over to the second one and do the same thing. Just kind of putting some purple down in the middle. He sure does, Michelle. I keep holding out that there will be
One in a luggage.
other colors at some point. Or that they won't sell out so quickly. Mainly it would be helpful so I make sure that you guys can see my caps, because I keep throwing them all over the place. I'm totally doing the wrong flower.
Sandy's taking care of you. She says, I'm trying to figure out a way to get what you want. Because we all know what color you want.
I'm just sitting patiently. All right. So now I'm going to use my, if you're at the Sweet Retreat, it's my infamous Naked Girl Orange combo. But I really liked what it did for this flower because it almost looks translucent at the end. So we're going to start off with YR65.
Can you fix it for Granny and Granddad?
Okay. Yeah, baby.
No, it's for Granny and Granddaddy.
Okay.
Not for you.
Sorry.
That's on my guts.
Okay. Okay. Come on.
What are you doing?
Daddy's teaching me.
Where are you taking me?
Sorry about that. Joys of having little ones around. She's excited for you guys to be here, Sandy. She is looking forward to having company. And I think in her mind she thinks she's just having a sleepover for a week.
She was wanting you to show everyone her card.
Oh.
That's what she was coloring like you.
She's wanting me to show off her artwork. So she's coloring. She's coloring while we're coloring. And I would zoom out, but if I zoom out, Lord only knows what it'll look like when I try to zoom back in. They are coming to visit us. Everybody's coming to Florida. in like
We
2
should have
weeks.
Decent weather too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she does, Michelle. She feels she needs to color and to do all the things that Daddy's doing. So that's what's hard about this, because normally she'd be right in here with me. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm afraid of, Sandy. Is that I would Lord only knows what you'd end up seeing. Sandy said that she zoomed out last night and you saw her ceiling.
It's like I had a coworker that used to mess with her camera during lives, and we'd always see her thighs because she was wearing shorts. And I'm like, oh, good Lord, leave your camera alone.
We are lucky, Michelle. We're gonna have a blast. This next one's E95. Oh, I guess it shows up on camera better than
On the marker itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to keep reminding myself that I'm doing both these both sets of petals at the same time. Yeah, the Folgers commercial.
Oh, that's what. Thank you. I was sitting here.
The Folgers commercial with the guy showing off his thighs is a staple around these parts.
Folgers. That was definitely it. Thank you. I was sitting here trying to think of the company.
Alright, so I've moved on to my YR61. Hello, Cheryl. It's going. It's Friday. I'm done working for the day, so at the very least, it's better than it was. I'm coloring. Thankfully, I get to work from home on Fridays, so it's not quite as bad as Monday through Thursday.
We also don't have that nasty rain today either.
Yeah.
That's been a nice change.
Well, it would have been nice if it hadn't rained on me when I was driving every day this week.
True.
Well, hello, Mary from Illinois. I'm down here in sunny Florida, Central Florida. finally, we were just talking, it's finally sunny today. We've had some not so sunny days recently. Oh, I can show you a sneak, Cheryl, since you guys weren't around at the beginning. This is what we're working towards. Hold, please. There it is. So that's what we're looking for at the end.
The camera really picks up your finishing stuff on it really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking at the beginning. I guess I'll, for those of you that have joined, I'll give my 2 cents on flower color selection. And I know it sounds, at this point, it sounds very cliche because you hear it from just about everybody, but it really is true. I just, Googled lilies because, I mean, one can only color so many stargazer lilies or tiger lilies. I was looking for something different. Yeah, see, I always talk about wanting to leave Florida, and then I hear about, the winters everywhere else, and I learned to deal again. I think it finally got up to, 72, 73 here today. Fahrenheit, so... It was actually, today was one of those days that it was really pretty to be in Florida. It was not too hot. There's still kind of a little bit of a chill in the air this morning, and the sun was out. Yeah. We'll probably be well, actually, I think we're actually supposed to be in the mid-70s for the weekend. I think we're supposed to have a couple days.
We're having spring.
Yeah. So I'm coming in, oh, my caps are off the screen. Coming in with this YR000. I'm not putting a ton of it down. I'm just laying the groundwork for this transition because we are going to come back to our purples here at the end, but we're going to come back to it to kind of smooth between the orange and the purple that we're going to put on the tips of the petals. I did see your beep beep Jeep. I was not awake for the whole thing, but I did see it. All right, so now I'm going to switch to my really dark oranges here for a second. So I'm going to start off with YR18. And this particular lily, which... of course, I would expect nothing less from you, Sandy, than to not only do a great job, but then also make it a Jurassic Park Jeep. I mean... it was perfect. All right, so I'm just putting the tiniest amount of this dark orange at the ends. For those that are newly joining us, I apologize if you hear a tiny voice. I do have a 3-year-old at home. And she is out coloring at her little desk. So I know it's hard, so I'm going to lift up. I'm just putting the tiniest bit there on the edges. Ooh, sorry. Well, there you go. Just because this, like I said, I should have written down the name of this lily. It starts with an A if I'm not mistaken. It has like a dark orange rim around the outside of the purple that we're going to put up at the top. And I'm sorry that I'm blocking it when I'm coloring. I'm trying to show you afterward. It's so hard for to do such fine lines. It's hard to not block it. So we did that with our YR18, and I'm going to come in with our YR68. And I'm just going to ever so slightly build it out some. And come down. Well, my little Charlotte's kind of like my mini-me, except for she has long hair. All right, so that's all of our orange. So now we're going to work in our purples. And so we're going to go back to those same three purples that we were using earlier, the V09, BV08, and V17. And what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to go over this dark orange and we're going to start bringing it down. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to try to preserve that outer orange brim. Cheryl, I'm being told there's one in the works. So if you know much about me, I have this thing for orange. I was part of the reason why there are orange espressos. So, I'm being told there's stuff in the works for me that I just need to be patient. So I'm practicing my patience. But I know Sandy's looking out for me, so I'm just letting her do her thing. And I'm making the best with what I've got for now. But like Sandy suggested earlier, I might just need to have two, so I might just need to pick another color to hold me over. So we're just gonna go around all of our petals. And put down some of this darkest purple. I do want orange everything. What's funny is, so I'm 6'6". It'll help understand the story a little bit better. Being 6'6", I also wear a size 16 shoe. So, also being that I love orange, I have no problems wearing bright orange shoes. Now, granted, when you wear a size 16, that's a lot of bright orange. So I remember the first couple times I've ordered them, people look at me like, that's a lot going on. I'm like, well, you know, I like it. It is what it is. So now I'm switching back to my BV08, and we're just gonna come out a little bit more from all of our petals. So the way that these lilies work, though, you typically they almost come to like a point in the center. Like, so the coloring follows the line of it. So that's why I'm leaving like this big point in the middle of my petal. So Cheryl, how much longer will it stay cold, like cold-ish, up in Canada? Like, are we talking like May, June? Yep. We have some stories. All right, so now we're moving back to our V17.
More stamps. What comes up?
There's a hidden message. Go look in it. And then bring it back to me. I'll show you.
Ow.
What you do?
I hit my foot.
I want
Phew.
this. Stop. Don't kick my dad.
That is that.
Yeah, Sandy, she wants everything.
Well, she's not happy because you didn't stamp her out stuff to color. She's having to stamp her own stamps.
Oh, so I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble for not stamping her something, Sandy. That's so. Yes, that probably does sound even more like Cooper. Sorry, Charlotte. I will remember next time, and I will stamp you out your own flowers to color. All right. So like I said, so I've done all my purple. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my YR000, and I'm going to come back from the orange to the purple. And just kind of soften this transition some and bring some of that orangey color up into the purple.
Oh, she's a prize, Michelle. Definitely. I've never met a 3-year-old with quite the personality.
Yeah.
My coworker described her as very strong-willed.
Christina's not here, but hearing stories about her little girl who's older than Charlotte, I get scared.
Oh, Peyton.
Yeah. It is, Sandy.
What? The deep one's done.
You gotta color it. You're doing good, though.
Oh, why not?
You can go down.
Can I color the rest of it? I want to.
Daddy's teaching right now. You can give it to him after. Daddy's teaching right now.
Daddy, look.
That's for you.
Oh, I
But
love
you
it.
can color the rest of it
Okay.
if you want.
Okay.
All right, go play, Sissy. You can go play now.
Can I have a yogurt right quick?
No, we're gonna go to dinner as soon as this is
I'm
over. I
hungry.
gave you goldfish. Remember? Go eat your goldfish. No, that's really
Yeah, and I was trying to balance with that whole, like, I didn't want it to look like a Halloween flower. So that's why I went for like this much lighter orange. This is just me being nitpicky. I'm putting in a little more orange to try to, I got a little far out with my purple up here, so I'm just going back over it a little bit to kind of push back that purple some. Like we've talked about on more than one occasion on these Floral Fridays, they're flowers, they're not going to be perfect, so, but I still have problems. So I'm going to move on to the Stamen really quick. For it, I used some of my same oranges that I already have out. I put a little bit right up underneath where the pollen would be, and then some down at the bottom. And I'm just going to use every other color for this, so it'll be YR65, YR61, and YR000 because it's so small. I'm not going to try to cram 5 colors in it, even though we all know somebody who would try to cram 5 colors into it still, but she's not here, so, well, she may be here, but she can't can't yell at me for doing my own thing. That's even better, Sandy. All right, so I didn't pull them, so let me pull them real quick. I'm just gonna pull 3 random browns, a dark, a medium, and a light brown. We're just coloring the tips of the stamen. So I'm pulling E49, E25, and E21. They can be any colors. We're just coloring in these little pieces. So I stipple these. To give them that look like pollen.
My balloon got kind of water.
That's stuck in the laundry room.
And then with my E21, I'm just gonna come a little more on the side of my nib. And blend all of these colors together. All right. She sure did. So now I'm going to work on our leaves and our bud. That's the word I was looking for. So I'm going to color all 3 of these at the same time because I'm going to use the same general colors for all of them. For the leaves, how I typically do leaves is I start, because when I go to put these on something, I'm going to curve them and the top's going to be closest to the sun. So that's why I do my shadow on both ends, just because I know ultimately when I place this on a card, that's really where the shadow would be. Same thing with the bud. I just shadow on both ends. That was my G16. Now I'm moving on to YG09. Thanks, Angela. Look at you always being sneaky, Julie. All right. Now, before I move on to my next green, I am going to pull out my V17 and my YR63. Lies. My YR61. I don't think there is a YR63. There's not. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to create the coloring that you would normally see in the center of the bud. But I want to do it early enough on so that I can take my greens and kind of tone it down some. Because in nature, it wouldn't be as bright as it's going to be with Copics. So, it's going to look weird at the moment. Trust me, it'll even out and look okay. So now we're going to move on to our G14. I'm going to take just a moment to kind of blend in this bottom piece with this slightly darker green before I get into my lighter greens. On my next two greens is when we'll really start to play with that bright stripe down the middle of it. So we're going to move on to YG05. And just same thing, we're just filling in the space at this point. I look at leaves similarly to how Jamie talks about backgrounds. Like, you don't want your leaves to be like so detailed and then they become the star of your flower. Like, you've spent all this time on the actual flower. You want it to be the part that like shines through. So, I mean, leaves don't have to be perfect. Hey, that is perfect, Angela. Like, I'm just teaching you a method, some color combos. Even a lot of the techniques, like because we're going to actually put this together. It's just basic techniques to start working it. All right. All right. So now I'm going to pull out my dies and I'm going to cut this out really quick. So one trick, if you do have this set, just something to look out for is these two sets of petals are different. There is a larger one and a smaller one. So that's one way to kind of distinguish which one is which when you're going to line up your dies. And we do want, like when you're stamping it out, you do want one large, one small. So you just want one of what all's on the stamp set. That's great, Michelle. He wants to be part of it too. Or she. Oh no, he. You said he. I started questioning myself after I said it. Same thing with the leaves. These leaves are two different sizes. I apologize in advance if it gets loud. I hope it won't be that loud. And just like that, we have all of our little pieces nicely cut out. Well, welcome! Alright, I'm going to attempt this. Ali Dallas, maybe? Am I close? I apologize if I'm way off. It's not intentional, I promise. We're glad to have you, though. We're just here working on our floral. I try to do these. Oh, look, I got one. I try to do one of these every other Friday is my goal. For sure I do at least one because we have where we have a different floral each month. I make sure to do one to go over the new floral. So this is the Extraordinary Lily that came out in March. We're still in March. I'm so thrown off. All right, so I'm going to take, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two lily, the flower pieces. I just have a simple water bottle with just clean water in it. And I'm going to spritz over here away from everything. Just going to lightly spritz the back of them. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a stylus and I'm going to gently go around the outsides of my petals. The main thing we're doing here is we're just starting to break up the paper fibers, which is easier to do now that we've moistened the paper a little bit. And then I'm just gonna come, nothing crazy, I'm real softly just rolling around some in the middle of the petals. We're gonna do some more shaping once we flip it over. But we're just wanting to start the process because ultimately we want the center on the other side to be going down, but we want all of these petals to be going down also. I'll show you in a minute. I know it was real confusing. I apologize. Words are tough right now. I am going to zoom out just a touch though. I say that and it's not gonna there we go. So I have a little more room to work with. So same thing on this one. Michelle, isn't it still a little early for happy hour for you? Or does happy hour start early because it's Friday? I mean, it is, well, I guess it's after 6 o'clock now here in Florida, so. All right. So now, what I was trying to explain, and I'm going to take and double over my mat, is I'm going to take my smaller stylus so I can get in better, and I'm going to press right in the middle to give me that lovely deep cone shape of a lily. So we're going to do it one more time. Come in right here in the middle. And I'm going to turn my hot glue gun on because I just realized I won't tell anybody, Michelle. Secret safe with me. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my, actually, on this particular stamen, because of the fact that it's, when we put it together, you are going to see both sides of it. I like to put a little bit of color on the back just so it kind of blends in. So I'm going to take my YR61 and I'm just going to come up. Now, keep this in mind. Just like your Copics are bleeding through from the other side, your Copics are also going to bleed through from this side. So I try to leave relatively that white border that you would normally have on the front, because if you don't, you're going to see it. Is it the end of the world? No. Because, I mean, you're making the center, so it's not going to be seen. But if you go too heavy-handed, it will bleed through, and you'll see it. I learned that the hard way, or I didn't really think about it when I made my first one. So I'm just going to spritz both of them. And I wish I could remember who was asking during the original live, 'cause I'm getting ready to show my, secret technique. Really, it's not that secret. So hopefully they'll see this video, but they were concerned about how to put together the center. What you do, and it's really simple. See these two little tabs here? These are what we're going to glue together to be the center. So what we're going to do first is on those, we're going to take our stylus and push right down on top of them. Basically, we're trying to flatten them out. We'll fold them increase them when we go, but for now we're just kind of pressing them down. I like to take and roll right here in the center because we want it to circle. I'm going to open it back up a little bit because I am going to flip it over. And I'm just going to come down the back side of all these, focusing mainly on the top because we want those to open out. So I'm going to come back over to the front again. And now for this, for the rest of it, I am going to use hot glue. For this part, I do use my Barely Art glue just so I have a second to kind of put it together. And then we just take those tabs, one on top of the other, and connect them. And then I'm going to take it off of my forming mat. I'm going to take them and just make sure I push down on it. Push it together some. And there's our center. And then once we put the hot glue on top of this, it'll really stay. So now the other thing that I like to do is on the bud. If you look at the bud, I mean, buds are obviously, you think about it, it's the whole flower folded up together. So I'm going to try to make this as circular looking as I can. So I'm just going to press, sticking towards the middle, not do a ton on the outside, and then trying to stay in the actual like center of the flower itself also. That just giving it that like concaved look. So now I'm going to pull back over my 2 petals. I'm going to take my hot glue gun. Make sure you take your larger flower. Your larger one is the bottom. Put a bead of hot glue in there. Apparently I didn't give my hot glue gun quite enough time to really warm up, but then I'm going to take the second one. We're going to offset our petals. I like to take my stamen again and make sure I get down in there. Get it pushed in. I like to take my petals and just kind of round them a little bit. Once again, it's that whole illusion of trying to make them look as rounded as possible. Yes, Angela, I like to call this in a world, a male in a mainly women's craft. I like to call this my manly glue gun because it's run by a drill battery and it's a touch overkill, but you know, it gets the job done for me. So now we're going to put another little drop of glue in the middle. Same thing, we're going to take our center, get it kind of how you like it. And then we're going to put it right there in the center. Oh, did you see? Look, see? Everybody saw my...
She broke down and got
Everybody saw my glue gun. I love it. It works great. All right. So now, one more thing I like to do, and I can't really find what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to use a pencil, because that'll work. Just looking for something to fold my petals over. just gonna kind of flip them. Just something circular. A glue stick would work. Just be careful if your center is not completely dry. That's why I'm kind of being cautious.
Michelle said your glue gun isn't orange, FYI.
I know. It isn't.
Its lights are orange though, Michelle. If that makes you feel better.
I wish it was orange, but you know. Of course, it's the people who are green. But there we go. You can kind of see it from the side. That's our lily. And then now you could glitter it, you could embellish it, you could do whatever you wanted to it. And then what I did is I dropped it. Not dropped it. I did sort of drop it, but I put it, I just took a simple clear glitter, put it on the edges, and then I took like basically glossy accents and I put it on both my leaves and my bud to give them that like waxy look that a normal leaf would have. And then I just put this on a simple embossed back. So I just took an embossing folder, did an embossed background, and then used this stuff, which I'm sure I'm really late to the party, but I found this at a local store last weekend and I fell in love with it. It's called Opal Polish. But what got me was, of course, this beautiful, like, peachy orange shimmery color. But it worked amazing. So, and then I heat embossed the sentiment from this set that says the simple things are also the most extraordinary and only the wise can see them. And then cut it out, because if you get the dies, even the sentiments, there's dies for the sentiments, and which I love because I just love the look of it. And so that's what I did. So this is our extraordinary lily. And there we go. I hope everybody has a great night. I will not be here in 2 weeks, because if you were here earlier, you heard that I have visitors coming. So we will be up to no good, I'm sure. But I will try. I'll see. Maybe the next Friday I can get on, and then we'll do 2 back to back, and we'll still be before the next. Oh no, actually, we'll be right after the new release. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Or we can always do an old flower. We can repeat. Or I can pull back out the tropical flora too. But we will figure something out. I hope everybody has a great night, has a great weekend, and I will see you guys later. Bye.